Hi, everyone. This is Paul, and you're listening to episode 3 of the Generation Latino podcast. First off, I want to thank you again, guys, for taking the time to spend your morning with me, your afternoon, or even your evening. I don't know exactly what you are doing at the moment, but I can't thank you enough. I also want to thank you for listening to my last 2 episodes. If you have, I've been able to read, and get feedback from the last previous episodes, and it really means a lot to me. I am open to suggestions. I'm open to comments and topics that you would want to hear discussed, and it really means a lot to me that people are sharing it with other people and whatnot. Because again, this has been such a passion project of mine for a very long time. But the idea for these first several episodes is really to just get an idea of who I am as an individual so that you, the listener, can know who exactly is talking to you in your headphones or in your car on your way to do something or cleaning. Because I myself listen to a lot of audible books and self-help books and podcasts. So I'm always doing different things when I myself listen to podcasts or any sort of audible. But this episode is really focused on being your authentic self. And for me, I've been lucky enough to be able to be my authentic self since I was probably 12 or 13 or even younger. But it really pains me when people aren't able to be who they want to be and what they're meant to be. And I get it. We live in a world where people are judgmental. They're afraid of what others may think about them. But I will tell you this right now, guys. I have no problem being who I'm supposed to be and being my authentic self. And this episode is really talking about how to really move forward with being who you are really meant to be. And, for me, I'm a very proud LGBTQ plus Latino. I take pride in my queerness and in my Latino-ness. I take a lot of pride in it. And I think sometimes people have problems with that, but this is why we're here to talk about things like this. But for me, being my authentic self means being exactly who I am meant to be and who I want to be. So this is going to be about that. It's basically going to be my coming out story and the journey that I went through and some struggles and obstacles that, help me just be the best version of myself and honestly, my authentic self. So here you have it, episode 3, The Daughter I Never Was, my coming out story. Hope you enjoy. So, the daughter I never was. I always joke with my mom that she has, well, first of all, there are 4 of us, there are 4 siblings, right? My mom has 4 kids. It's my older brother, my older sister, myself, and my younger sister. So, I am literally the middle child. And I would always joke that my mom had 3 daughters, me and my 2 sisters, and that my brother was the only boy. And I would say that obviously joking, I didn't really want to be a daughter. I just really embraced my femininity. I didn't care if I wanted to play with a Barbie or if I wanted to play with a Power Ranger as a kid or a Pokemon. I loved it all. Like, I really, really loved it all. And so I never grew up in a space where boys only did this or girls only did that. I never saw, like, everything was just like fluid for me. So I was like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, that's the Spice Girls. Oh yeah, that's, System of a Down or that's Shania Twain. Oh, that's also Garth Brooks." So like I grew up in a space where everything was just acceptable and I was really able to express myself in how I wanted to. And I think a lot of that was due to the fact that I was raised by a single mom. So she was always working. So because of that, I just got to watch whatever I wanted and that's what I was able to do. And I appreciate that. But I always, I look at younger kids now and as much as I love how open they are to expressing themselves and being their authentic selves, I also see the opposite of that spectrum, and that is like complete and utter suppression. Like they can't express who they are. They're very, they're raised by this like toxic masculinity, which is a thing, whether people want to believe it or not. We do live in a world where toxic masculinity is a thing. You see it everywhere you go. It's like you have to be the most machismo guy. You have to be the most masculine one. You have to be the most, and it's so exhausting. I don't know how people do it, but I see it all the time. I see it all the time. And it's actually disheartening, for someone like myself, because I'm like, wait a minute, you're hiding something. Like, what's really bothering you? Why are you that filled with that type of like anger or testosterone? Like, what is it that is really fueling all of this? So, usually it goes down to a deeper root, but this episode is not about that. It's about embracing your authentic self. So, yeah, so growing up, I was really able to really embrace that part of me, and which was why I thought my coming out story would be a lot easier, but it was not bad. But I'm gonna explain to you how I came out to my mom and how that really, really helped me embrace myself and allowed me to be the Paul that I am today, the human that I am, and how much I love seeing people be happy. I truly mean that. I love seeing people be like the best version of themselves. I genuinely mean that. But I was about probably 14 years old. I would say, yeah, 14 years old when I came out to my mom. I was dating this guy who was probably 15 or 16. It maybe like 1 or 2 years older than me. And he would always come to my house. He would visit me after work. He was a cashier at a local grocery store. And he would visit me. And we would literally just hang out on my front porch and just talk. Like, he was my first kiss. And it was nothing rated R. It was literally like PG, not even PG-13. Like, I was so innocent at that time. Now it's a little different story. Now, anyways, yeah. So he would come over, and my mom always knew him as my friend who came to visit me, and that was that. So after dating this guy, I really did like him. Like I obviously I didn't love him, but I really did like him, and I had decided at that point I wanted to come out to my mom. How she didn't know her son was queer, I don't know. But you know those moms who are kind of like delusional with their sons, especially in the Mexican Latino households. Like they have that one son, straight usually, who like does all these bad things, dates all these women, always in trouble, but Mijo is always like the golden child. Maybe that's how my mom was trying to treat me, but I was gay. But anyways, I know you know what I'm talking about those Latina moms that are like, oh no, my Mijo doesn't do anything wrong. He's not paying his child support on time, but he's still, you know what I mean? Anyways, all jokes aside, we all know someone whose mom just continues to like stand up for their mijo. But that's okay. It's part of the culture. It happens. But I had decided that I wanted to come out to my mom, and I was 14. And I remember my mom and I were going to go on a mother-son date, and she was like, "Hey, we're going to go out to the movies. We're going to spend the day together." And I thought to myself, "Oh, this is like the perfect time to come out to her. This would be perfect. This would like be perfect." So what I did was I told her, like, we were driving. I remember we were driving to the movie theater, and I had told her, "Mom, I really need to tell you something. I just don't know how to tell you." I was actually nervous, believe it or not. And my mom's like, "Well, what do you got to tell me?" I'm like, "I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how you're going to take it." And she was like, "What? Like, you got someone pregnant?" I'm like, "Mom, no." And in my mind, I'm like, "Girl, you ain't never gonna have to worry about that. Like, for as long as I'm alive, at least." No. And I'm like, "No, not that." And you would think that, like, maybe she would get the cue that, no. She was like, "What, Paul? What?" She was like, Did I join a gang?" Like, she was like coming up with all these like scenarios. And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I don't know how to tell you." So, anyways, we go. I still haven't said anything to her. So we get to the movie theater, we get off, and the movie that we're going to see is sold out. So we had to buy a ticket for a later showing. And so we had about 2 hours to kind of kill some time. So we decide to go to Walmart, right? Because that's what you do. When you don't have anything to do, you go to Wally World. We're in the Walmart parking lot, and I have yet to tell her what I needed to tell her. And I said, "Well, Mom, we're parked." And I said, "Mom," and I don't know. First of all, I don't know why I thought that a Walmart parking lot would be the best place to come out. But when you're 14, your mind is not obviously fully developed. Yeah. So I said, "Well, my friend that visits me," she's like, "Uh-huh, I know him." I said, "Well, he's not just my friend. Like, that's my boyfriend." And she was like, "What do you mean?" And she's still trying to comprehend what I'm telling her. I said, "Well, like, he likes me, I like him, and we're together, like, we're boyfriends." And she was like, "No." And I'm like, yes." And then I said, "Mom, I'm gay." And she was like, "No, you're not." I was like, "Yes, I am." And she's like, "Well, what do you mean?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What do I mean? I'm gay. I'm gay, Mom." And she goes like, "No, this is just a phase. Like, you'll get over it." And I said, "Mom, this is not a phase. This is who I am." And in my mind, I'm like, did you not like I was playing with Barbies as a kid. I was like listening to Madonna, Celine Dion, Britney Spears, the Spice Girls. Like, how did you not know that? I didn't tell her that, but in my mind, I'm like, how do you not know that, girl? But again, you know how moms can be. Sometimes moms just want to see what they want to see. My mom wanted to see a straight son, and that was not me. So she tells me something that I will never ever forget. She goes, "Well, don't you want to have a wife, get married, and have kids?" And I look at her and I said, "Well, I would love to be married and hopefully have kids one day, but that's not going to change that I'm gay. Like I'm still gay. It's not going to change my sexuality, and I'm not going to change who I am for the sake of a family that people think is perfect or what they consider ideal or normal." So I told her that, and so she decides to not talk to me. So we're sitting in the car, the van actually. It was a van that she had at the time. And I said, "Are we gonna get off? We're at the Walmart parking lot, are we gonna get off?" And she ignores me. She doesn't talk to me. I said, "Look, I'm gay and you can accept me or you cannot." I said, "But it's gonna be on you if you decide that you don't want to be a part of my life anymore because of my sexuality. It's your loss, not mine." I said, "But this is who I am, and you have to take it or leave it." And I said, "I'm going to give you some time to process all of this." I said, "But I'm going to get off and I'm going to go inside the store to give you your space." So I get off. I have like $2 or $3 in my pocket. And I go into the Walmart. And I don't know if you guys remember, but before the Subways were in the Walmarts, there used to be McDonald's in the Walmart. So I I went inside and got me like a large fry, and I remember calling my friend on my flip phone at the time and was telling her like, "I cannot believe my mom is not accepting me for who I am," and blah blah blah. I was being so dramatic. And I really couldn't understand. Like, I was like, why doesn't she just get it? It is who I am, who I am, and she doesn't want to accept it. And I was kind of being dramatic about it. So I looked at the time, and the movie was going to start in the next like 20 minutes. So I hang up the phone with my friend, and I walk back to the car, and my mom's in tears, She's been crying, and I get in the van, and she's still not talking to me. We get to the movie theater, we watch the movie, still not talking, and then after that, we get into the car after the movie, right? We saw the movie, it was a good movie, and like she hasn't started the car or nothing. And I'm like, well, this is awkward. Like, and I get it. Like, she really had to process everything. And looking at it now, like as a grown man, I know that it was a lot for her to take in. She had to understand and realize what I was telling her. So we're in the car, and she just turns over and just gives me a big hug and starts crying. And she tells me, we're gonna get through this together. And I truly, I can still remember it like it was yesterday. Because when she told me that we're going to get through this together, it made me feel like I wasn't alone on this journey that was going to happen in front of me. The good, the bad, what comes with being your authentic self. So for me, being a queer man, it's being called a faggot, which I've been called many times. I've been called a lot of slurs in school growing up. And it's what happens, though, right? When you decide to live the life that you want to live and be your authentic self, it happens. But trust me, those words meant nothing to me because I was able to be who I wanted to be. So I understood when she said, we're going to get through this together. And she's been a part of this journey with me every single step of the way. And I wouldn't want anyone else to be a part of it, the way she has. And I say that because if there's there any parents listening and their kids are struggling with identity, sexuality, or struggling with anything, whether it's depression, anxiety, there's usually a root behind it. But for me, just knowing that I had my mom's support was so beneficial to me and my upbringing. And I was able to live all of my teen years in high school and be myself. And it meant so much to me that when I looked back or I looked forward, that my mom was there. My family, my brother embraced me, my sisters embraced me. And a lot of the times people have a hard time being their authentic selves because they don't have anyone to support them. And I get it. People have their chosen family, as we say in the gay community, oh, this is my chosen family. Yes, I do have a chosen family as well. But the family, the blood family, it means a lot. So it's so when you're growing up and you're hearing these slurs and you're hearing fathers disowning their kids because they're trans or they're gay or they're queer or whatever the case may be, it hurts. Like it really, really hurts. And it takes a lot out of someone, especially if it's your parent. And so I was able to, with my mom's approval and and I had to also tell myself, if my mom doesn't accept me or my family doesn't accept me, I'm going to have to figure out what to do, like how to live life. But I was very fortunate, very blessed to have the support of my family and the support of my mom and my siblings. And anytime I see young kids and even in their, you know, early 20s and they're struggling or they're homeless or they're stuck on drugs or they're stuck on alcohol because they're so lost. It's not easy being your authentic self. It's not easy being who you want to be. Most people are not who they want to be. Most people are a character of what somebody wants them to be. That's just the truth. That's just the God honest truth. But I've been in therapy. I've had a lot of help for myself to help me be that version of myself. And it's always changing and it's always evolving. But if you know the core of who you are, the universe does the rest. I always tell people, like, Just do your best, and the universe will always do the work that needs to be done. Always. The universe has never failed me. Has it disappointed me? A million times over. It has disappointed me, right? But it always knows what it's doing. And I wanted to really talk about, my coming out story because as soon as I was able to be, I know I was young, right? 14, 13. That's pretty young to be kind of that bold in your face, but it's shaped me as an adult. I will say that because I live life unapologetically me. Like I don't change for anyone. I'm kind, I'm respectful, but the core of who I am a queer, proud Latino. I do not apologize for who I am. And I think you as well should hone in on who you are and be the best version of that. Treat people with kindness, obviously, respect, empathy, and the universe will do the rest. But if anyone's out there and you know someone who is struggling with sexuality, identity, even depression or anxiety, reach out to them, ask them what's wrong, ask them if they need anything. For me, sometimes it was just you needed to have a conversation with my sisters or my mom, my brother, you know, friends. It's not easy being, you know, who you want to be sometimes, but I'm telling you, it is worth it. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in today and listening to this episode. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you on the next episode. Take care, guys.